Roberto De Zerbi has arrived in the Prem on a mission, taken over Brighton after Graham Potter's dramatic exit to Chelsea and has completely revolutionised the club in the process. The Italian mastermind has adapted to the English game and proven why the Seagulls are serious contenders in the top 10, with a Brighton brand of football ready to deliver glory. Today, our mission is to bring the Champions League title to the Amex and take this city to the very top. In real life, they're currently putting on a Southern English showcase, on track for European qualification, and the acquisition of De Zerbi is proven to be a masterstroke. However, here's what he's working with at Brighton. It's a classic 4-2-3-1 wide formation, with gifted the captaincy to the club's first ever World Cup winner McAllister. The Argentine will be the creative outlet in the middle of the park. Of course, they have found some diamonds in the rough. They've unearthed some talents nobody knew, like Mitoma and Caicedo, establishing themselves as Premier League staples and taking things even further. Don't even get me started on their reserves, the likes of Sarmiento and Enciso. They're announcing themselves onto the scene in the Prem, getting game time on the regular. It's our job to try and incorporate as many talents as possible, develop a winning formula. We've got to make the lads tick, as here is how the Zerbi ball will be executed in the Prem. We've got pressure and heavy touch defensive style, and in terms of offense, we've got slow build-up play and direct passing when it comes to chance creation. In the opening transfer window, we've got about £46 million left in the bank to go out and spend, try and improve this team as much as possible. As behind the scenes, when it comes to the talent we've got on the books, it's 45. We've got a ton of players out on loan. It'd be rude not to, really. We've got to take a look and see what kind of youth academy talent the Zerbi has been greeted with here, as we've got the homegrown talent, the main man himself, Thomas Reeve, a 16-year-old with a 66 overall, can play at centre forward and cam, 5-star skill moves, 4-star weak foot, 5'10", and you can't look past that 79 to 94 potential. This man is destined for greatness, so we're promoting him to the senior team, no questions asked. We've set all the development plans on our players, and boy, we are ready for what this season has in store for us. Now, let's get involved in some summer business. Now, one of the major first concerns for this team were their aging centre-half line. We have some starting centre-backs who are towards the end of their career, and De Zerbi needed to start future-proof in that back line, and this is exactly what we've done. His first signing, he's acted quickly. We have made the German hot prospect centre-back Malik Thior from AC Milan a Brighton boy. He now joins the Seagulls on a swap deal, as we included Adam Webster plus £6 million. It's an A-grade signing. It's a top-tier deal. He's a product of the Schalke Youth Academy. Zerbi is familiar with his game, as he has played in Serie A. Now, Brighton in the past 2 seasons, they've developed a new reputation for themselves, unearthing random talents from obscure leagues around Europe and the world, and we're continuing that trend here. Some prospects that are flying under the radar, and this kid is absolutely killing it over in Belgium. The Nigerian Victor Boniface, or Boniface, we've included Danny Welbeck in the deal, plus £2 million. It was time for Welbeck to go and pack his bags as we start to introduce this new era. Speaking of introducing a new era to the club, I have been wanting to sign this wonder kid in a video for so long now. I've just never really found time to implement him into a squad, and here goes nothing. It's the Turkish sensation, the generational talent, Arda Güler, who will be joining us here on a swap deal again. Just a straight swap for Solly March, and this is our long-term future plan for a brand new right winger. He is one of Europe's most hyped up young talents right now, and we have replaced Solly March with his 17-year-old kid. Considering he is quite versatile, he can play cam, CM and right wing, I actually just want to convert him into a proper right winger. Now, speaking of players who are old and aging and on the out, it is Adam Lallana, a Brighton lad who will be departing. We put him up on the transfer list, and it's just some cash to store in the piggy bank. Finally, the Englishman will be out, and this time joining fellow Premier League rivals West Ham for 3.3 mil. Here's another player destined for the exit door, and if you're not involved in a trade deal or a swap deal of some kind, you're being sold or even put out on loan. In that case, it's Facundo Buonanotte, headed out to Strasbourg on a 12-month basis. Now, here's a player signing who's not necessarily going to be in our first team plans, but in the long-term future could develop into quite a bubbling talent, and it's a player who's made a name for himself in the Championship. It's Alex Scott. The young up-and-coming English midfielder from Bristol City is now starting to be on a lot of clubs' radars, and I feel like this is just the type of signing that a Brighton or Brentford or Burnley will make. For £2.3 million, we probably could send him out on loan here and there and just see how his career develops, but this will be one we'll be watching from afar, showing great potential, only 18 years of age. Nonetheless, De Zerbi's taken a liking to him. Here we have some more key outs and departures to announce, as we have such a large roster to work with here. it was just destined to happen with so many new recruits. We are now shifting off Julio Cesar and Cisco. He is out on a 2-year loan spell to Eibar. Also, we have Jason Steele, the goalkeeper, joining Boa Vista for 720k. Thanks to us being resourceful this summer, we've been able to spend a little chunk of cash here, £10 million, and we have gone after Serie A talent, an Italian. It would have been rude of us not to under De Zerbi's guidance, and it's Parisi, the left back from Empoli. He'll be arriving for £11.5 million and will be a backup for Estupinian. It's just a signing we had to make. It's the type of talent we can attract now that we've got yet another exciting prospect on our roster. Now, we have somehow managed to sneak through 2 major deals before our first opening Premier League game between us and FC Twente, and that is for Joel Veltman and Mies Hilgers. They're both Dutch, they're both centre halves that can play at centre back and right back. However, one's got a much brighter future ahead of him and a bucket load more potential than Joel Veltman, who is on the wrong side of 30. He wants to prioritise the youth, as Mies Hilgers will join us and be a brand new starter at the back. And in what is going to be our final play of the transfer window, one last roll of the dice, and again it's another talent from Serie A. We've decided to poach one of Mourinho's favourites from Roma. It is the Polish starlet Zalewski, who will become a seagull here in the Premier League and provide us depth on the right and left hand flanks. I want to train him to be a left midfielder. For £15.2 million, will be a backup for Matoma on the left. He's pretty dynamic and diverse. He can play on the right and left hand side of the field, and this Brighton loan system continues to take on a mind of its own as we have so many players out on loan spells. It's insane. That number just increases here with the Ecuadorian Jeremy Sarmiento. He will now be departing on a 2-year basis to SC Braga. And another academy talent who will be departing just on a 1-year basis. It's Odell Offia, the homegrown talent, now joins the Romanian outfit FSSB. We've done what we've set out to do here in this first window, and De Zerbi's happy with it. He's content. However, his Titans are out there deployed, ready for war. New recruits such as Theo and Gula make their starts in the first team, and some other new faces claim spots on the bench like Boniface, Parisi, Hilgers, Zalewski. Let's see what this youthful unit can conjure up here in the Premier League, and could they provide a few surprises just like the Seagulls are doing in real life? Let's find out. It's how De Zerbi's first full season in charge of Brighton has panned out, and it's probably going to be where they finish in real life, somewhere between that 7th to 10th range. Our boys here have come through in 9th with 58 points, only 1 win away from a top 7 finish, and look who wins the league. It is Manchester United coming through with 88 points. City runners up, Liverpool and Chelsea take home a top 4 spot. Meanwhile, getting relegated, it is Brentford, Fulham and Bournemouth. Over in the FA Cup, we made it all the way to round 6, losing out to Fulham 2-1, and then going on to win it all was Liverpool against Norwich in the final 2-1. We made a decent little run over in the Carabao Cup, this time eliminated at Spurs 2-0 in the quarters, and then they went on to lose the final 2-0 to none other than Manchester City. Hopefully, we can be playing Europa or Champions League football in the years to come, sooner rather than later. Let's take a look at their individual campaigns, who were the main protagonists and the players that carried this team to the top half of the Prem. We've got to thank the captain himself. We gave him the armband, the number 10, Alexis McAllister. He's won a World Cup and he's proven his credentials here in the Prem with 18 goals and 10 assists, the only player, the marquee, to get double figures in both departments. It was 21 goal contributions for the Japanese sensation Mitoma, killing it on the left-hand side, just like Dennis Undav, the German hitman up front with 11 goals and 2. Arda Gula, proven that he is not just a one-hit wonder. He can do it in Turkey, he can do it in England, and he got himself a +6 overall boost with 10 goals and 7 assists on that right-hand side. And it's Pascal Gross, one of the most experienced players in the side with 5 goals and 3, and Moises Caicedo with the winner of probably the most improved award in midfield, the 21-year-old South American, 4 goals and 4 assists, now entering the 80s with a +4 to his rating. And Thomas Reeve in and off the bench, the super sub, got himself 4 goals, and Boniface in off the bench, the new boy, with 2 goals. Just take a look at the abundance of youth players and loan deals we have to welcome back for next season. Malik Thior also really impressed me in the backline with 1 assist. The 21-year-old German is wise beyond his years, and it's Robert Sanchez in between the sticks, the Spaniard shot stopper, with 8 clean sheets. We also had some news in the off-season throughout January. Actually, this one went down in February, but it's Evan Ferguson, the Irish striker. He'll be off to AZ Alkmaar on a 2-year loan basis, so we'll see if the youngster can prove himself in the Eredivisie and come back even better. You know what, I'll put that down as a successful first campaign in England. De Zerbi transitioning to a new game. He's proven the doubters wrong. Graham Souness, eat your heart out. The haters, the doubters, they're all getting silenced, and they are here witnessing this special Brighton project this man man is building. Let's hope for season 2 they can push for European qualification and these youngsters can get even better. Now for season number 2, we are greeted with a transfer budget of £70 million, nearly double than what we had last season. If we're as resourceful and snap up some bargains like last time out, I doubt we're going to be using the majority of this, but it's here just as a keepsake. Heading into this campaign, we are on the lookout for a backup goalkeeper, a capable one at that, possibly a brand new starting centre mid, and maybe a quality starting centre back to replace Lewis Dunk. We've got a lot on our shortlist. Let's see if the Italian mastermind can tick them off. I'm happy to announce our backup goalkeeper option has been acquired. We've wasted little to no time, and we've got a man ready for the job just in case Sanchez gets injured, suspended, or God forbid he puts in a transfer request. We've got a second choice capable between the sticks. Yes, that will be the Kosovan Muric. The ex-Man City player arrives from Burnley for £8 million on the dot. Even though Graham Potter will take all the credit for building up Yves Bissouma here at Brighton, he became a superstar poached by Tottenham. We are bringing him back. We've given him the call to return as the prodigal son, and the Mali international midfielder will be back at the Amex Stadium, a fan favourite, and the ZERBI has rescued him from the dumpster fire that is Tottenham Hotspur for £29.1 million. We have right here our most expensive signing to date. We're running it back with the African, and Seagulls fans all over the world get to celebrate the return of one of their favourite ballers. We're going all in this season. We're not holding back, and I told you we're looking to reinforce our defensive unit and bring in a big centre half to pair up with Theo at the back. And this time it's Ezri Konsa. Big Konsi arriving from Villa for £21.6 million. Again, another 20 million plus deal goes through, and the partnership that him and Theo are going to cook up at the back, it's given great Wall of Brighton vibes. And just in case all else fails, we've gone after a little bit of a budget option, a backup option if you will. The ZERBI's poached the Norwich City defender Omo Bamidele. We've included Van Hecke in the deal, the Dutch defender, plus £2.4 million. He's got a game face, got a decent potential on him, and I think can be a solid backup option, providing us depth and quality of course at 6'2". And this time, instead of a loan departure, it is a player sale. We are raising a few funds for the transfer kitty, and here is a player returning from his loan spell at Angers. It's Simmer, now departing to Real Betis for £10.5 million. Deemed surplus to requirements, we've got way too many strikers. The ZERBI is on a mission to cull this 40+ man roster and get that salary wage bill down every single week, and that's exactly what he's done here. With yet another player returning from his loan spell, it's another striker, the Switzerland international Andre Zerqui, another player headed out to AZ Alkmaar in the Eredivisie for £2.6 million. We've just got players galore continuing to exit through these Brighton HQ doors, and this one's another one, Kasper Kolowski, now headed out to Brentford. The Bees pick him up on a 1-month loan deal. It's another part of this strong Irish contingent here at Brighton leaving the club. Of course, it's Aaron Connolly as he returned from his loan spell. We just have a surplus of strikers, and he's just not good enough to break into the first team, so he's sold out to Belgium for £2.95 million. That's right, you guessed it, more departures to report on, and it feels like it's the end of an era as the German centre mid. It's Pascal Gross who came up with his Brighton squad, was with them through their Premier League debut to present day, but he's just past it now, 32 years of age. De Zerbi wants a bit more fresh legs in the team, as it's also Odell Offia joining Casa Pia for a 2-year loan spell. That Pascal Gross deal reported he will now be joining Stade Rennais for £12.13 million as he journeys out to Ligue 1. We've also been swindling a few more deals in the background, as it's the Colombian Alzate, the midfielder, returning from his loan spell of course, and now we see an opportunity to gain some profit on his sale. He'll be departing out to Charleroi in Belgium for £5.4 million, and also coupled in with that deal, it's Facundo Buonanotte on yet another loan deal. He'll now be joining Leeds for a 12-month spell. It's deadline day, and we've been working on a few more deals in the background, experiencing a lot of squad turnover right now. We've had a lot to manage behind the scenes, and of course, it's another loan deal out. Kjell Shepard, another one of our third-string goalkeepers, now joining Stuttgart on a 2-year deal. After the Alzate sale, we have Jamie Mullins, another Irishman, out on a Bristol City 2-year loan spell, and it's the English shot stopper, another goalkeeper, James Beadle, 19. He is off to Pisa for 2 years, and FC Vizela pick up James Furlong. All those last-minute sales and loan deals out got our transfer budget back up to £36 million, which we're just going to save for now. No real future first-team plans to assess. Besides our second team sheet we've created here, the backup brigade operating in a 3-1-4-2 formation. The only new recruits, Konsa and Bissouma, will claim their spots in the starting 11. Nonetheless, it's the ZERBI's Brighton whose is extremely keen to bring success down south and make a statement here in Season 2. From 9th to 5th, the ZERBI Seagulls have flown up to the top 5 and qualifying for the UEFA Europa League. That is European football, 69 points on the board. Nice. So only 1 point away from that top 4. Champions League could have been a real possibility at the Amex, but we've got to be grateful for what they did. As we take a look towards the bottom end of the table, it is Sheffield United, Nottingham Forest and Blackburn all going back down to the Championship. Over in the FA Cup, it was Manchester City to win out in a 5-goal thriller against Norwich 3-2. They made it all the way to the final and they actually knocked us out in the semis 3-2 again. Unlucky for us, we were so close for a finals berth, but where we did actually come through was the Carabao Cup, and again Norwich in another final. What has gotten into the Canaries? I guess we got the last laugh, or they got the last laugh, whichever one happened first. It was a 3-0 win for us in the Carabao, our first piece of domestic silverware success and the first piece for the ZERBI to celebrate in England. A 5th place finish, a piece of silverware, Europa League qualification. It's a picture perfect Season 2. The roadmap has been laid bare, and right here we've got a few players to thank, as Dennis Undav really came into his own and exploded on the goal scoring front this season with 29 goals and 5 assists. The German entering his prime and 34 goal contributions was absolutely outstanding. Meanwhile, it was Alexis McAllister and Gula, both with double figures in both departments. The Turkish teenager with 14 goals and 12 assists, quite impressive. The captain coming through now as our highest overall player. Mitoma's contributions were very valuable, as 12 goals and 5 assists, as well as Victor the Inflictor Boniface with 12 goals and 3 off the bench. Yves Bissouma had a little bit of a low-key return season to the club, only 8 goal contributions for him, as Thomas Reeve, the homegrown talent with limited game time at 3 goals and 1 assist, was especially decent. Moises Caicedo continues to go from strength to strength, the Ecuadorian from CDM with 2 goals and 3. The growth and development in this squad continues to take my breath away. The ZERBI really getting the best out of them, and our boy Robert Sanchez in between the sticks, our trusty number 1 with 11 clean sheets and 37 appearances. It's a managerial revolution here at Brighton, and it's taken the Premier League by storm. They haven't left this campaign empty-handed, and the Brighton boys are going into Season 3 with an absolutely reinvigorated sense of self. With European football to deal with, we need to build a squad that is capable and can battle on multiple fronts. So let's go out and see if the board have backed us financially here, as our transfer budget this season, oh my goodness, man, I didn't expect it to be that big, but our savings have prevailed. Now we are entering an absolute war chest, £175 million to go crazy with. The ZERBI, you've earned every single penny. We are performing an all-out raid on Chelsea right now. Watch this space, as we've sought after Conor Gallagher. He's been on a loan spell in Spain at Mallorca. Was planning to bring him in come Season 2, but now we have finally been able to approach our main target for the midfield, and he brings a bit of English flair to the middle of the park. We've agreed a fee with Chelsea for £40 million, and the Blues, Frank Lampard, is happy to sell him. He provides some fierce competition for Bissouma at CM, but I hope he can recapture some of that Crystal Palace form he was able to pull off a few seasons ago. Let's hope the ZERBI can unlock his potential and really reignite Conor Gallagher's career. Now, I warned you, Chelsea's English prospects were under siege, and Brighton have come in full swoop. The Seagulls have pulled off a big money move here, as the ZERBI will be welcoming Noni Madueke, another talent who can fulfill our homegrown quota, and our plans are to train him at both right and left winger. I want him to be a backup for either Matoma, maybe even take over his spot, as he's more expensive than Gallagher, £43.6 million. We have uncovered a special talent to replace him on the left. We are taking Chelsea's unwanted scraps. With over £80 million spent, the ZERBI's spending spree continues here, as we've opted for a brand new midfielder. We're also going to go in for a backup centre back just in case the worst happens to Moises Caicedo. He needs a helping hand. We've got more competitions to deal with, and improving our depth never really hurt anyone. So we've inquired for the services of the Belgian Onana, who'll be joining us from Everton. Amadou joins us in a little bit of a trade deal. It's Billy Gilmore plus £17.6 million. So honestly, I was happy to let him go. It's a sacrifice we were willing to make in order to lure, and the 22-year-old is only one of 2 CDMs here, so he's down to get some game time. Our loan deal system wheels continue to keep turning. We're shipping a few talents out the door, just like Ed Turns, the Welsh centre-back, is off to BSC Young Boys for a 12-month spell, and coming through here is actually the game face scandal wonder kid. It's Hayden Roberts. He'll be joining joining AZ Alkmaar, linking up with Ferguson for a 2-year deal. And it's 3 off the spin. This time it is the young and upcoming Australian Cameron Payupian who will be joining Al Nassr, linking up with CR7 himself for a 12-month basis. We continue to look after and nurture our surrounding talent, not first team starters, as Buonanotte will now be joining the Bundesliga with a Wolfsburg 12-month loan deal, and Kolosowski will be off to Spain, joining Real Sociedad. The loan merry-go-round continues as Reda Kadara will be off to Real Valladolid, joining Kozlowski in Spain on a 2-year basis, and that means an abundance of our 43-man roster is currently out on loan, but I'd rather that than them just sitting down, rotting on the bench, submitting transfer requests. Of course, we were wheeling and dealing behind the scenes, and a few more loan offers came into fruition, just like Enciso is now out to Frankfurt on a 2-year deal, and Jeremy Sarmiento is packing his bags for the Eredivisie on a 2-year loan deal as AZ Alkmaar snap up another loan opportunity. And here we have it, the moment we've all been waiting for, De Zerbi and Brighton's debut in European competition, here drawn into Group B of the Europa along with Celtic, Brøndby and Lask. Here is how the final assembly of the first team is looking. New recruit Conor Gallagher will replace Basuma in midfield. We're also training him to be a backup cam for McAllister. Madueke finds his spot amongst the subs on the bench. That leaves us with about £46 million left in the transfer budget, just keeping it there as an emergency fund just in case. We are cementing Brighton's top 6 top dog status in the Premier League as we speak. 6th place, 1 down from last season, 71 points. The Seagulls are still flying high, only losing 5 times this season, but 14 draws definitely held them back. And to go down, it is Fulham, Norwich and Burnley. Over in the FA Cup, it was Manchester City to claim the double there, a 2-1 win against Southampton in the final at Wembley. Our boys were knocked out in round 6, 1-0 to Spurs. It's a Manchester City domestic treble as the Citizens claim a 3-0 triumphant win over Chelsea in the final. And again, round 4 elimination to the eventual champions, 1-0 to City. However, everything leads up to this. It's the grand finale, the pivotal point of our season. In the last match of the season, the ZERBI's Titans have progressed all the way through to a Europa League final up against none other than AC Milan. Over in the group stages, they came through on top with 12 points. It was actually quite tight as over in the round of 16, they demolished RB Salzburg, making their way through to the quarters where they got the better of Arsenal 6-2 over 2 legs, and in the semi-finals, scraped by FC Porto 3-2, and an opportunity to qualify for Champions League football if they win it. Here is how both teams line up on paper, head to head. This is what Milan have put forward. They've got Danjuma, Ottavio and Leao in attack, with a potent midfield 3 of Charles de Ketelaere, Benacer and Almada, Magic Mike Magnan in between the sticks, and the finals being played at St. Mary's of all places. We're just going to quick sim this one, cross our fingers and hope for the best that our Brighton boys can get the rub of the green on final night. And oh my goodness me, they've done it in the smash and grab-esque way. With 33% possession, Ardagula and Dennis Undav got the critical 2 goals, and the Seagulls held on for a famous victory. And in what proved to be a quite underwhelming season domestically, they have made up for it tenfold, therefore being rewarded with the trophy and qualifying for the Champions League for Season 4. What a way to draw the curtain closed on yet another successful campaign under De Zerbi's guidance. It looks like we relied on not just one player, but a multitude of creative attacking outlets who drove us forward. The main man up front though, it's Ardagula. Still 20-year-old right winger has flourished and has gone up a +4, 88 overall, but most importantly, 31 goals and 12 assists for the lad, 43 goal contributions in 55 appearances, the signing of the rebuild so far, and Brighton OG, 22 goals and 15 assists for the Japanese menace on the left. And Dennis Undav, as much as we were trying to give Thomas Reeve a bit more of playtime this year, we wanted to incorporate the teenage homegrown talent a little bit more. It's the German who came through and showed his experience, especially when it mattered in the Europa League final with 17 goals and 4. And Conor Gallagher's debut season saw him score 8 goals and 11 assists. But how about this? Alexis McAllister has turned into an assisting machine. How may the Argentinian assist you? Because 36 assists and 8 goals is absolutely magical. New boy Noni Madueke had limited appearances in and off the bench, just like Victor the Inflictor Boniface. Yor and Estupiñán continue to have great seasons in that back four. Bissouma proved to be a quality backup, whilst in between the sticks, Robert Sanchez has hit his peak with 14 clean sheets in 55 appearances at 27, and our most valuable asset financially is of course course, Arda Güler, who we signed in Season 1, now with a price tag of £91.5 million. You've really got to see it to believe it, as the Italian mastermind took down Italian opposition. Now it's time to regather and strategize. How are we going to manage all those loan players coming back to the club, whilst on the other hand, preparing the first team for Champions League football? European nights at the Amex are just about to get bigger. The board are aware what mammoth task we have on our hands this season, and they financially backed us, awarding us with £82 million in the transfer budget, with the first team and backup brigade needing the ammunition to fight on multiple fronts. Now, with our first major purchase of Season 4, I've started to go a little bit left field with it. Someone who I didn't really expect to sign in this rebuild. He's a versatile, dynamic player from Borussia Dortmund, the Austrian Baumgartner. He'll be arriving to the Premier League, and the Amex will welcome him with open arms. He's currently a cam, as we agreed a £42 million deal for him. However, our plans is to convert him into a fully fledged striker. He's officially our most expensive signing to date, and the 25-year-old is approaching his prime. He's a special player that has got the flair and technical dribbler trait, so you just know he is born to trouble defenses. I don't know though, this position conversion to a striker might take us some time, so trust the process. Another major issue we had to address in this transfer window and just reinforce is our backline, because Lewis Dunk, he is getting old, he's getting towards the back end of his career, and we also needed someone in their prime that could also provide a little bit of experience, and that is Akanji, of course, the human calculator, the Swiss defender who has had some Premier League experience. We're now bringing him back over to England as he moved over to Lazio. We agreed to deal with the Biancoceleste for £25.5 million. I believe Manuel can be that father figure, a cool, calm, collected head in the back line. And we have a major decision to make here, as we've agreed deals with two right backs. One is Takahiro Tomiyasu, and this random youth academy generated player in this save, Harley Chambers, could potentially be a regen. He's currently a free agent, and as much as I would love to reunite Tomiyasu with Matoma and form a little Japanese connection, unfortunately we only have £7 million left in the budget after those major two signings, so we're gonna have to go with the Englishman on a free. I've got no idea where he came from. One of our scouts just recommended him to us, and the rest is history. We're gonna pick him up on a free. Only 18 years of age, 82 overall already, and that is a steal. Harley Chambers, as long as you're not anything like Callum Chambers, he's an exciting prospect, which is a good sign. That is going to provide us with some juicy competition at right back. The loan carousel continues here in the south, and it's probably going to be one of many loan deals we have to agree this summer. It is Yasin Ayadi, the Sweden midfielder, who'll now be moving to Cercle Bruges on a 12-month loan spell. Now, I love these Brighton players we're loaning out, because in real life, they're actually getting game time. However, in FIFA, their stats just aren't recognized yet, and they aren't really good enough for where we are in this save. So Facundo Buonanotte, the Argentine, will be departing on a 12-month loan deal to PSV, and another youngster is headed out the door. It is Kasper Kozolski, who'll be off to Italy, over to Serie A to Salernitana. Another loan deal coming at you thick and fast here, and it's a departure due to the arrival of Chambers at right back, that free agent. It's allowed us to loan out Mikael Carbronwick. He will now be joining Nantes over in France for 2 years. And it's time for all Brighton fans to stand up and say farewell to a long-standing servant at the club, and that's Lewis Dunk. We appreciate all the services and all he's done for the team, but it's time to say goodbye as he's turning 33 this season. He's now departed to fellow Premier League side Southampton and technically rivals the £9.7 million. Alrighty, would you look at that? Our Champions League group, we've got Milan, we've got a bit of bad blood with them, or they've probably got a bit of beef with us. We beat them in the Europa League final to be here, also alongside Villarreal and Dinamo Zagreb. So a challenging group there, no easy games in the UCL, of course. And it's the last little bite-sized piece of loan action, a final departure as the Irishman Jamie Mullins is off to Orlando City. He'll be in Major League Soccer on a 2-year deal. Right here is the ZERBI's best 11, ready to take Season 4 by the scruff of the neck. We've got a few hurdles to overcome, like this Baumgartner striker experiment. Meanwhile, Conor Gallagher is very unhappy right now, so that's a little bit of a dramatic situation. Two debutants in the starting 11. Meanwhile, the likes of Akanji joins us on the bench. Now, how is this 44-man squad going to deal with at least 3 games a week, multiple competitions, away days in the back ends of Europe? We're going to have to find out, wait and see if the ZERBI's boys have got that dog in them. You are witnessing the Hove Albion in real time insert themselves into the Premier League top 4 conversation as they secure 3rd spot this season. The Seagulls coming through with 84 points, months and weren't really involved in the title race, just always a top 4 contender as Chelsea take home the league, dethroning Manchester City. Towards the bottom end of the table, it is Crystal Palace, Aston Villa and QPR all to get relegated. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, thank you for downloading. And buckle up people, because the successes don't stop there, as over in the FA Cup, the Brighton boys have gone on to lift that silverware at Wembley in a 5-4 penalty win over Manchester United. It finished 1-1 and they got there on another penalty shootout as well. It's those little 1%ers at the end of the day, and unlike real life, at least virtually, they are getting it right from the spot. But it was an early elimination in round 3 of the Carabao to Leeds United, which saw us exit early out of that one. The most important thing was they qualified out of the group stages, and with 11 points, that was enough to progress them through to the round of 16, where they met Bayern Munich. And boy oh boy, the Bavarians didn't pull any punches here. A 5-2 aggregate loss. That gives the ZERBI's men a bit of a reality check, as Manchester City went on to win the whole thing on penalties 4-3 against PSG. I think it's fair to say that the Baumgartner experiment worked in our favour, and De Zerbi was able to get the best out of the Austrian hitman. In 42 appearances, he scored 31 goals and 9 assists, a perfect 42 goal contributions, and his goal scoring now helped him to crack Premier League defences. He clicked instantly and was a missing piece of the puzzle in our attack up top, as Arda Güler, yet another world-class campaign, double figures in both goals and assists, 17 goals, 18 assists for the Turk, and now he has entered the 90s. He is considered top tier elite, one of the world's best. Alexis McAllister is well and truly on his way there with 15 goals and yet again 27 assists. The main playmaker, as Kaoru Mitoma, a bit less of a goal contributing season and is starting to go towards the decline as he approaches 30. That's why we've converted Noni Madueke into a straight left winger, as he'll be the heir to the throne on that left side. Meanwhile, it's the 2 super sub strikers in off the bench, Boniface and Thomas Reeve getting in amongst the goals. Nicolas Zalewski proving to be a handy utility player to bring in off the bench, and Harley Chambers' debut campaign with 2 goals and 2 assists. Sanchez, again the Spaniard in between the sticks with 11 clean sheets in 50 appearances. When it comes to asset valuation, there's no other than Mr. Güler himself, with an £109 million price tag, taking home a domestic cup at a top 4 spot. But hold on, UEFA Super Cup winner, what? I can't believe I forgot to check this, but the Europa League winners versus Champions League winners, and we took down PSG 4-2. It's a piece of silverware to add to the collection, whether you like it or not. Zerbi's had an outfit change, he's spiced up his style, and he's ready to go gung-ho, full guns a-blazing, as we transition into half a decade. Season 5's up next. I hope we're doing Joe Weller proud right now, one of my favourite YouTubers of all time, and an actual Brighton fan, as the board this time around have gifted us with £90 million. We're in a World Cup year right now, 2026, and the majority of our starting 11 is out on international duty, killing it with club and country. I don't know, we gotta somehow turn things around with this 55 manager rating. Before we know it, the Zerbi's head could be on the chopping block. I know it's a cliche term that gets thrown around in my videos a lot, but in this season, we're prioritizing quality over quantity. When it comes to rebuilds and simulations in FIFA, you need a top tier goalkeeper in between the sticks. We've stuck by Sanchez for 5 seasons, but when push comes to shove, we just need a better quality pair of hands. The Zerbi's opted for none other than Gregor Kobel, the Swiss shot stopper that arrives from Borussia Dortmund for quite cheap actually, £53 million. He's the brand new marquee signing for this season. We've upgraded our goalkeeper from an 83 rated Sanchez now to a world class 89 Kobel. Goalkeeper long throw, rushes out of goal, comes for crosses and saves with feet. That is an expert keeper if I've ever seen one. Look, to be honest with you, this one's a little bit more of a luxury signing, just to flex our financial muscle right here, because we couldn't really ball out for a little bit of centre back defensive cover. Not quite sure if we need it, but I've been keeping my eye on this guy for some time, and De Zerbi has too. It's the ex-Southampton German defender Bela Kotchap, who will be arriving here at the Amex as we activated his release clause for £38.2 million. Face scan and all, he's a career mode fan favourite. Welcome to the club, lad. Now it's our second campaign in a row competing in the Champions League, and after our round of 16 exit last time out, we're looking to go further. We've been drawn into Group E alongside RB Leipzig, Club Brugge and Sparta Praha. Let's not get too comfortable here, because it will be difficult. We didn't finesse any loan deals or pick up any free agents. In Season 5, it's all or nothing. We've acquired the quality, we've built the depth, and the board accept nothing but W's, or else our job is in jeopardy. Oh my days, a Brighton clinic has ensued here in Season 5, and the Seagulls take home the Premier League title with ease. boys. They have cracked England's top division here with 86 points, turning a lot of those draws into wins over the course of the season, and they beat out the likes of Man City, Spurs and Arsenal all to the top spot. We are starting to see the fruits of our labour with Burnley, Fulham and Watford all going down. Over in the FA Community Shield, this team loves a bit of late penalty shootout drama. That trend continued here and we got the better of Chelsea in a 5-4 win after it was 2-2, so that was a brilliant way to kickstart the season. Meanwhile, over in the FA Cup, it was Everton actually to win against Chelsea on penalties. They can't stop copping it, the Blues. It was a 3-3 result which sent it into extra time, and our boys actually were eliminated pretty early on in a round 3 replay to Liverpool 5-4. Manchester City won a 1-0 final over Liverpool in the Carabao Cup, and I think these early exits in the Cups were a blessing in disguise considering we've won them both. It was a 1-0 loss to Liverpool over in round 3. Could we top it? I mean, Group A, we absolutely came through there with 14 points. No L's alongside RB Leipzig moving over to the round of 16 and therefore progressing past Marseille in a 3-0 comfortable aggregate victory. And then unfortunately we folded like a deck chair in the quarterfinals, matched up against Real Madrid, and we're just not at that level yet. A 5-3 aggregate loss. We put up a fight, it was respectable, but respectfully we got taught a lesson and were knocked out by the eventual champions who won in a 1-0 final against Milan. Penalty specialists, Premier League champions, call them whatever you want, but let's see what exactly our players did this season. And I'm so grateful we were able to pick this guy up in season 1 at 18 years of age. He is stunned ever since with 30 goals and 18 assists. Arregula, take your bow, mate. Christoph Baumgartner backing up his debut campaign with a second double figures in both goals and assists. 24 times he found the back of the net, proven to be a key component in this winning formula, and Noni Madueke definitely came into his own this season. And our captain is back at it again, assisting players left, right and centre. 33 assists, 12 goals, that is 45 goal contributions, and Moises Caicedo, the Ecuadorian, now up to an 88 alongside his midfield partner Conor Gallagher. Chambers has now surpassed Lamptey and all his right back competition at 20. He's now an 87. Malik Thior also getting a deserved upgrade. We're now starting to see the downfall of Matoma with a -4 downgrade hitting 30. The career mode curse has hit him hard. It is Gregor Kobel in his first year in between the sticks becomes a Premier League champion with 11 clean sheets, as Arregula is the one and only player in that 9-figure range with an £109 million market valuation. Now, even though we didn't take home the treble like the board demanded us to, they've seen the vision. They're on the ZERBI hype train. They're entrusting us to go a step further in season 6. We're probably maybe 2 world-class signings away from going all the way and lifting the Holy Grail. The ZERBI could have well and truly been out of a job if it wasn't for taking home the Premier League title, as we've actually got £6 million less than last season. The board have given us £84 million to spend. It's not the ideal war chest we'd like, but we're gonna have to make it work. Now, our top priority this summer was to pursue a defensive unit that could pair up with Malik Thior at the back to provide us with a Champions League quality backline, and that can guarantee results home and away. He's a product of the Benfica Youth Academy and actually arrives from Sevilla for £60 million on the dot. Welcome, Antonio Silva. The young Portuguese defender was our go-to, and he's still on the come-up, but only 23 years of age, and boy, those golden Premier League patches look oh so good. I'm just here soaking it in alongside De Zerbi, and I'm sure the Brighton fans are too. But besides that, he's still got room to grow, got bags of potential. It was just meant to be, and we've gotten ourselves a brand new first team starter. It must be said that we are lacking a bit of striker quality in up front. Just in case Baumgartner gets injured, we need a reliable super sub who can come through and deliver important goals when it's needed. And that's why De Zerbi's had his eye on a striker who has actually exploded onto the scene in the last few weeks. It's the Argentine hitman Valentin Castellanos. He's actually in real life playing for Girona, but in this save 6 seasons deep, he arrives from Marseille for £24.3 million. And we've had to gather all of our resources together to pull this deal off and give it the green light. He's currently killing it in real life, scoring 4 goals against Real Madrid. He's probably going to be a sought-out striker in Europe come the transfer market. We've done the three-peat, involved in the Champions League 3 years running. This time, we've been drawn into Group C alongside Napoli, Celtic and Copenhagen. You never know what could happen in Europe, but we're hoping to go a step further. Let's face it, we've got a major target on our back, defending our Premier League title, attempting to go all the way in Europe with the board sky-high expectations. Here is how De Zerbi's Titans are scrubbing up for Season 6. We've just got one one new boy in the pack, and that's Antonio Silva joining Theo in the back line. So let's hope for some more clean sheets to come and pray that these Brighton boys can ball out on the biggest of stages. It's the ultimate glory. They have gone back to back, and the Brighton boys are the best in the land again with 93 points. It is a record-breaking season for the Seagulls as they win the race, getting the best of their fierce competition in Manchester City and Liverpool with one of the best attacks, the best defense in the entire league. These lads are massive. It ain't the ZERBI's first rodeo, and the rest of England just can't figure him out as Wolves, Norwich and Sheffield United go back down. We launched season 6 with a FA Community Shield win. It's just another one to add to the collection. Been there, done that. In the FA Cup, Manchester City had something to celebrate about as they won out against Watford 4-0 in the final. Meanwhile, we were eliminated to the eventual champions 3-0 in round 6. As the Carabao, Man City just win all the unimportant trophies this season. They take it home 3-1 against Tottenham in the final. We were eliminated quite early on to Chelsea in round 3, 2-1. But it's the big kahuna we're all worried about right now. We came through in second, so it's an unfavourable draw for us as Napoli topped the group, although it kind of was a blessing in disguise as we avoid Borussia Dortmund and we took down Monaco 4-3 on aggregate. It was a high scoring affair with the French outfit, and then against Bayern Munich we get our sweet revenge against the Bavarians in a 5-2 aggregate victory. It was on a away day masterclass in Germany, and that brought us through to a semi-final against Barcelona, and just like Chelsea did back in 2012, we take them down and edge past them 2-1 to book our ticket into the big dance, baby. It's May 2028 and it's Brighton v PSG in the Champions League final. It's a moment for the ages, a moment for English football to savour. We've got double vision, baby. We're not just satisfied with the Premier League, it's the Champions League these lads are really hungry for. It's in their sights. It's just one of those eras where everything clicks, and it just all went our way this season, and it's Nodi Madueke. If only we utilised him earlier. He was sidelined for a couple of years, and now he earned his spot, he earned his chance. Boy oh boy, he returned the favour in dividends with 26 goals and 26 assists, perfectly balanced, 52 goal contributions in 53 appearances for our English magician. And do I really have to say anything about Arda Güler? Conjuring 25 goals and 22 assists this season is no easy feat, as Christoph Baumgartner managed to put through 21 goals and 7 assists. Big Daddy Mac, Alexis McAllister, our captain, had a little bit of a lackluster season for his standards, but hey, 11 goals and 16 assists is very handy indeed. And the new boy in blue and white, it's Castellanos with 11 goals on off the bench, and big boy Belgian Onana, who I feel like has just been working in the background, making moves in silence. We just have so many talents that could be considered faces of the Premier League, and one of them right here, Fabiano Parisi, the only Italian, Zalewski, Bissouma and Hilgers, all with some minor contributions, and Antonio Silva in his debut outing at the club, a +2 overall upgrade, 1 goal in 32 appearances. Harley Chambers is now nearly at a 90 overall, and here are the rest of the lads as we take a look towards our goalkeeper, and Gregor Kobel actually managed a record high 16 clean sheets this year. It's been a real team effort here, no major first team players that are just carrying the team on their back. A combined flurry towards the top of domestic and continental football. So the ZERBI's Brighton are so close they could almost taste it. Here's the starting 11 we have picked out for tonight's battle up against PSG. No, we don't want to accidentally select the backup brigade. It's the superstars of the Amex up against oil-rich PSG with Mbappe, Bellingham, Florian Wirtz, Donnarumma, Marquinhos, you name it. It's been a long-standing quest, 6 magical years, and it all comes down to this. He's an Italian tactical genius. What can I say? The Brighton fans out in their numbers with a Güler tifo. They're up for it tonight. All of England is behind Brighton and Hove Albion, and what better way to do it than get the better of one of the most hated clubs in Europe right now. These lads are fighting for that holy grail. The Champions League anthem is blasting. The whole world is watching. Now let's get this show on the road. Here goes nothing as PSG get us underway. They're donning the aqua, the turquoise away kit tonight. It's got the potential to be a cult classic, an iconic piece of Brighton garment. It's one of our first attacks with Baumgartner. Finds Madueke. I'm sure he's beaten the offside trap here. The Englishman nearly coming through, looking for a cutback, and here's Arda Güler, harried away by Donnarumma as we send the first warning shot. It's Traore partnering up top with the Frenchman, and it's a big block from Antonio Silva to force it for a corner. As they slow build up, Caicedo tracks him down. Mbappe with the flick up. He wants to take the shot, but Traore, as Nuno Mendes sees him again, all of a sudden our defense has opened up. A missed tackle there, and it's Mbappe who hits the crossbar. Traore has another go. Charges through, just forcing the issue as McAllister ball over the top. Baumgartlinger all of a sudden has the PSG defense on strings. And there you have it. That's all it took for the Austrian to open the deadlock. Our first major opportunity. And the number 29 curls that into the top right-hand corner. De Zerbi going absolutely mental on the sidelines. And the Italian knows how important that goal is. It's his third goal in the Champions League in the biggest of games. It could go down as one of the biggest moments in Brighton club history. Don't want any VAR drama, but it's Fabian Ruiz to strike one from distance, and it stings the gloves of Coble. The goal scorer inside, and we're taken down again. Referee, where are your cards at? Intervening interception here, and Conor Gallagher runs through and sets up Arda Güler on the right-hand side, using his pace and trickery to fool this defense, and Baumgartlinger's offside. No, it's actually half-time as we go into the sheds. 1-0 up. A lot of PSG attacks we had to deal with. We were under the pump, but the Brighton boys seem to be handling the pressure well. I hope the ZERBI had a halftime team talk for the ages. If it stays like this, Brighton are European champions, but we've still got a massive 45 to play. And these attacks are precise. They are calculated. And look at this. It's Mbappe. And just like that, they've unlocked the defense. And they're getting the ball out of the back of the net with a crucial equalizer for the Parisians. It's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle himself. A formidable foe that continues to haunt us in rebuilds. As, again, they are so unforgiving going forward. But Coble with the outstretched hand gets that one and denies Wirtz of the second. Big Daddy Mac, the Austrian, and again, it is Arda Güler, all free, all alone. Tries to cut inside, an option in the middle. It's Conor Gallagher's shot blocked. Mbappe versus Caicedo. Who's going to win this one? Caicedo tried the foul, and Traore's shot was too tame. Hakimi, the Moroccan marvel, just bolts down this right-hand side, and Parisi tries to deal with him. It's Traore who flicks it up into the sky, and Coble nearly ruined that. He's gone out of the play. He's glitched back into the field. Again, tries to stop Florian Wirtz, and it's a perfectly timed tackle. A defensive intervention of the ages, and I think this might be a Florian Wirtz red card. You know, he's already on a yellow. If the referee doesn't do something about this, a double yellow for the German. He's lashed out in the final. He's two-footed Madueke in the back. No sign of the ball whatsoever, and that has prompted PSG to bring on, what, like a 40-year-old Lionel Messi? But I'm still just in shock from that Wirtz challenge. The man could have been killed, as Baumgartlinger finds Arda Güler in space here, and the Turk runs free of his defenders, but Donnarumma, Güler trying to rally the troops, rally the fans. We have to score a goal. We don't want this going into extra time, and it's Arda Güler to find someone in the middle. He tries to square it across, and he should have just gone for the shot. We'll be forced into extra time, where a 10-man PSG have held on in the final minutes to send this game into extra time and possibly penalties. We know these seagulls love a good penalty shootout, but I want to get it done before it gets to that. Our first major substitution of the night, we've brought on Castellanos to replace Baumgartner, who's just completely drained of energy. Here we go, Madueke, who's had a quiet night, unfortunately. Castellanos can link up with him, and here we go. The Englishman all of a sudden has burned his man for pace. He cuts it back inside, and Castellanos with an instant impact in our first attack of extra time. We have found the goal to put us into the lead. 2-1 to the good, and now we've got to play the rest of these 120 minutes. Unfortunately, Brighton fans, don't celebrate too early. Anything can happen, but PSG down to 10 men feel absolutely distraught, and it's Nodi Madueke with his 27th assist of the season. The boy we brought in the summer smashes that one home, and again, another ice cold finish into the top right hand corner that ZERBI is absolutely losing his mind about. Our number 42 has potentially written his name into Brighton folklore. We want a third to confirm this victory, but all of a sudden PSG, they aren't lacking in attack as Delap runs through our whole entire team, and the Englishman fires it over. He got too excited and he saw the headlines, but we've gotten off the hook there. Arda Güler now. Castellanos, we don't want to stop at 2. We want to secure it, and the Turk, he would deserve a goal. No, our defense all of a sudden have opened up here, and Hakimi, this is why I wanted the third goal. And Liam Delap must be fighting demons right now. How he hasn't got a Champions League final double and PSG aren't in the lead, only God knows. And Delap, who has had such an impact on this game, he gets absolutely taken down by Caicedo, and the ball over the top. We've kicked and hoped, and Castellanos has won that duel, and Castellanos Ramos will win this battle for Brighton, and the Argentine hitman with his big game moment in front of the PSG fans. Get the champagne out, it's time to start this party, as Caicedo's Hail Mary over the top got us our third, and it was well deserved. On as a substitute in extra time, and Valentin has bagged himself 2 goals in the final. Kobel, Liam Delap, this game really just does need to be studied. McAllister now inside to Castellanos, who has avoided it all. Can he get a fourth? Unfortunately, he can't get his hat-trick in extra time, but it was a combination of Brighton brilliance and PSG failing to capitalise on their goal-scoring opportunities. The ZERBI's men have gone all the way. They've done it all. A fresh set of legs, and the lads saw red. They saw blood. Once Florian Wirtz was sent off, it changed the complexion and the outcome of the entire game. That was the pivotal moment, and now you can say the Seagulls are champions of Europe, champions of the world. Brighton and the ZERBI have been a match made in heaven, and there you have it, another managerial rebuild in the books. There won't be much sleep going on tonight in the south of England and at the Amex Stadium. They're taking that one back to the shores of Brighton, I'm sure. They've done it in that funky away kit. You love to see it. But as always, guys, let me know down in the comments below, what are the rebuild challenges? What are the new managers and club combinations do you want to see next? If you've made it this far, make sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on any content coming to the channel. Follow me on all my socials to keep up with everything. Links are in the description. And as always, I've been Sir BCHD. I'll leave you with these Brighton Champions League celebrations. Have a great day. I'll catch you all in the very next video.
Tears when I'm crying, I'm trying. When someone you love just dips and you don't feel right, but you keep on fighting. You're trying, you stay in your lane and you keep on grinding. From the section I see LA, London, Paris, tour for days. Don't sleep much or I'm up till late. 5 AM need to catch a break. Spark up a blunt is this lemon haze. Gelato to the chest got me feeling blazed. EA, I'm in the game. Fuck around you might get played. From the section I see LA, London, Paris, tour for days. Don't sleep much or I'm up till late. 5 AM need to catch a break. Spark up a blunt is this lemon haze. Gelato to the chest got me feeling blazed. EA, I'm in the game. Fuck around you might get played. I'm trying, I know this life ain't long, but I'm trying. Hiding the tears when I'm crying, I'm trying. When someone you love